Who will stay and who will go? That is the question the Chicago Bulls must ask about a lot of players on their roster this offseason. So I figured we should go player by player to see who's definitely staying, who we're not sure of yet, and who needs to get out of town. I'm Ross, this is Arturo's Fan Club, and if you haven't subscribed yet, do it right now before we get into it, because this is going to be a lot of fun, and I really appreciate that. So your support means a lot. I have something cool to show you guys. I am obviously an expert at graphic design. It is my passion. So you'll see how amazing. I'm being facetious. I'm not that great at it, but I did make a nice little graphic here, and we got all our boys. The whole crew is here. All of the boys are here. My face is only blocking the layers panel, so you can see all of our fresh faces. And guess what? All of these guys can move. They can move around, and I'm sure you're asking, what's up with the pictures? Okay, well, this is how we're going to group our guys going into next season. Who will stay, who will leave, and who we're not sure of. If they're staying, they get to hang out in the United Center, because that's where they're going to be. They get to play at the United Center, and they get to stay there. If we're not sure, they're going to hang out in the parking lot, because we don't know yet. So they got to wait in the parking lot until we figure out what's going to happen. If they're leaving, they're at O'Hare. They've got their plane ticket. They are ready to go. I'm sure many Bulls fans would be happy to drive them to the airport. So these are our three categories. All of these boys down here at the bottom are going to fit into one of these by the end of this video. And I'm just now realizing I think the faces might be too big to fit them all into each of these rectangles. But we'll press on and see how it goes. We'll start with the obvious. Vooch is staying. Zach is staying. Zach's not going anywhere. Patrick, where's Patrick? There's Pat, our boy P. Willie. He's not going anywhere. And then it's like, well, I'll get Troy Brown Jr. in there too, because Troy Brown Jr. is under contract. I don't foresee him going anywhere. These guys might end up like overlapping on each other's faces pretty badly. I guess I could bring them closer together. But anyway, I have my list pulled up here of the free agents going into next season, and we can get rid of some of the obvious ones. Cristiano Felicio, it's been fun. It's been real. The GOAT. But yeah, you're going to O'Hare. You've got your ticket already booked. He's got his ticket booked right now. So he's ready to get out of town. He's ready to go. Denzel Valentine. Oh, the Summer League champ. So many good moments, memories. Yeah, it's time to say bye to the Shy. It has been real. It hasn't been fun. So it has not been real fun. Those are the two most obvious candidates, as they are both expiring contracts, and the Bulls have no incentive to re-sign them. Looking at the rest of this list, I guess the other obvious one would be Adam Okaka. I don't foresee any reason why he would be on the roster next season. Once again, another expiring contract that we don't owe any money to. And this is where, okay, so it's interesting how the groups are split up. The way I ordered these was by contract. I just went on a salary cap website, and I just got a list of players and downloaded their photos based on their contracts. So it's kind of interesting how the grouping has kind of worked out here. So I think the other one you guys are waiting for, and it's not clear how this is going to be achieved, but it is Lauri Markkanen, whether he is going to walk as a restricted free agent. Man, he looks smaller than Adam. I'll make him a little bigger. If he's going to walk as a restricted free agent and sign with another team, and we won't match the offer sheet he signs, or if he'll be part of a sign-in trade. That is unclear, but it seems pretty clear that he won't be with the squad next season. At least if it were up to me, I don't think that would be a good idea. So now looking down at guys like, let's look at Garrett Temple. Let's find our boy G Temp. Here he is, Garrett Bartholomew Temple. It's unsure because he is an expiring contract. He is a free agent, but he was a really good depth signing this year. He ended up playing a larger role than many of us had expected, and he played that role very well. There's a good chance that he might want to come back and continue in that role with this team. It seemed like the guys really enjoyed playing with him. I would be happy to have Garrett Temple back, obviously at quite a bargain deal, just like we got him this past season. Coby White, I understand that there are some people who want to trade Coby White. I am not of that opinion. I got burned once. I made some Coby White jokes early on in the season, and then he really made me look stupid towards the end of the season when he turned his play around. I am going to put Coby White firmly in the stay camp, and I don't know what's going on above his head. I put a stroke on it, and I guess there are some artifacts. So Coby's got some lingerers around it. Tomas had it too. He's got those. And speaking of Tomas, let's go to him, because he's another player that I'm just not totally sure of. The Bulls can get out of his contract if they waive and stretch his contract. Same thing with our friend Al-Farouq Aminu. They're kind of in a similar boat. I believe, if I recall correctly, no, there's no option. For a second, I was thinking there was a player option on Tomas, but I think I'm wrong about that. I'm pretty sure we would have to waive and stretch his contract in order to get out of it. And then where is Al-Farouq? There you are, my friend. Same situation with Al-Farouq Aminu of they're on these big contracts that we probably will need to pay them some kind of money, but it would be advantageous to get them off the books sooner rather than later. Al-Farouq Aminu is also a potential a trade possibility if we're throwing in a guy maybe like Coby White and acquiring another player. There might be some salary matching needed, and Al-Farouq Aminu could be a part of that. So I don't think he'll be on the roster, and I think it's fair to put him in the unsure category, because just because I think that doesn't mean Arturas Karnisovas might not be able to find a way to navigate that contract situation, and he might have to sit on the bench, kind of like what we ended up doing with Cristiano Felicio. So that could end up being the outcome of the Al-Farouq Aminu story, but we're just not totally sure yet. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to put our guy Daniel Theis in that same bucket. I would love to bring him back. I really liked what he brought to the team this year, but depending on what AK and Mark Eversley do in free agency this offseason, it might not be financially possible. Daniel Theis might be looking for more money than we can afford. Someone might give him a bag, and he deserves it. He's at that point in his career where he's ready for his first big contract, and I say go get it, big guy. I really enjoyed having him on the team, and if he wants to come back and maybe we get him for a nice deal, maybe around what he was already getting paid, more power to you. Just at this point, I am totally unsure of what's next. And let's go to another guy that's kind of on that same, well, he's under contract, and I think you guys know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about Thad Young. And I'm gonna make him a little bigger because I feel like he's kind of small. Thad is a difficult one because a lot of people see him as a valuable trade asset. I agree he's a valuable trade asset. I'm not going to be the one to trade him. I want to keep Thad Young. Zach LaVine loves playing with him. He's a great veteran leader. We need front court depth. He plays multiple positions. He defends multiple positions. He can pass the ball. He has inside scoring ability. There are so many reasons why, especially if Daniel Theis ends up walking, why we should keep Thad Young. So I'm of the camp that Thad Young should stay. And that's why he is going firmly in the stay rectangle, in the United Center. He gets to stay in the United Center for the night. Just for now, because who knows what will happen next. Okay, and now we got three guys that I feel like this is going to be a little easier towards the end here. Ryan Arcidiacono, player option, or a club option rather. The team can say bye-bye, and they likely will. So Devon Dotson is kind of a weird one because he was on a unrestricted free agent two-way deal, because he was an undrafted free agent two-way deal. So he technically can walk. He can do whatever he wants this offseason. I think there is some sort of like qualifying offer that that the Bulls can give him. As far as I know, though, he doesn't have to accept that. I don't think so, at least. So I'm pretty sure Devon Dotson is going to end up leaving, unfortunately. I know that he had some background noise of not being comfortable with his role on the team. He wanted more playing time. I know his parents expressed just the same. I could end up being totally wrong about this, and he could be on the roster next season. I mean, maybe that was just some in-season frustration, but the vibe I was getting, not great. And it definitely sounded like they wanted a different situation for him. And, you know, I really liked the kid. I'm not super happy about putting him in the leave category. I think Billy Donovan could have done a better job of getting him involved, especially in games when we were not going to win or we were out of the playoffs. And it was like, just let the kid play, man. Let the kid get some time. Garbage time minutes don't really show you much. But even in those garbage time minutes, he did play pretty well. So it sucks. I'm not happy about it, but I am going to put Devon Dotson in the leave category. He is at O'Hare, waiting for his next opportunity. And that leaves us with one Javonte Green. And you know what? I know it's kind of a cop-out, but I'm going to put him in the unsure category. Just because, once again, another player who can walk in free agency. He does not have to stay. But at the same time, it might be advantageous for him at this point in his career to take a deal with this team that he's starting to get established with. He played pretty well towards the end of the season, and we already need guard depth. So I feel like he's a perfect candidate to be the kind of player that maybe would stay with the team. And now I'm looking at this, actually, I'm realizing it does look like Javonte Green and Devon Dotson are restricted free agents. Okay, so I'm going to here we go. See, this is why I got to pay closer attention. I got to read. I'm going to put Devon Dotson in stay, and I'm going to put Javonte Green in, if I can find his head, I'm going to put Javonte Green in stay. And I'm not going to overlap Patrick with Devon Dotson. You guys get your own little area. Okay, so I should have read a little closer. It does look like our guys, Javonte Green and Devon Dotson, are restricted free agents, which means the Bulls can match and keep them on the squad, which I think they will. I think these are two players that are candidates to stick around, at least for one more season. And I'd be happy to see it. And I think we are done. I think we're done here. So let's recap just really quick. I mean, you can see it, but obviously the guys who are unrestricted free agents for the most part are walking. That's what I see. There's a couple guys who are under contract who I don't think will be on the team, or I don't know if they'll be on the team. Those being Tomas Satoransky and Al-Farouq Aminu, technically under contract for next season. It's unsure of what the Bulls want to do with those contracts. Obviously, the Bulls want to upgrade the point guard position. I've hypothesized and theorized that it might be smart to try to trade Tomas Satoransky for another second round pick or a late first round pick. We'll see. I still think that Tomas has value as a backup point guard. It's just we're in the market to upgrade that position significantly. Daniel Theis, unsure, but would love to have him back. Garrett Temple, same thing, unsure, but would love to have him back. And then the guys that are staying, I mean, it's pretty obvious. It's the core. Obviously, Zach and Vooch. Pat is our up-and-coming youngster. Troy Brown Jr. is under contract. He's a good rotational player. I see no reason why he would go. Coby White is a guy who's definitely at risk of being involved in a trade if a player that the Bulls are high on becomes available. I personally wouldn't trade Coby White unless it was for a significant upgrade at point guard. I've said this before. I have a video about it. I would not trade Coby White for Ben Simmons personally. Mainly because it wouldn't just be Coby White, it would be a whole trade package. And I think Coby White still has a lot of value, and I think there's something there. I really do. I think there's something there. So I have Coby White staying, and then the restricted free agents, obviously. The Bulls can match those contracts. I don't see anyone giving Javonte Green or Devon Dotson a bag necessarily. So that's pretty much it. That is the 2021 to 2022 Chicago Bulls Who Will Stay, Who Will Go game. If there's a way that I could upload this for people to make their own, I would, but it's kind of just in my Photoshop. I guess I could upload the Photoshop file if you guys want to mess around with that if you have Photoshop, but that's about it for me, I think. Thank you guys for watching. This was fun. I had a lot of fun doing this. We could do another one of these like games, who will stay, who will go kind of thing, with a little graphic again in the future. So if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to hit subscribe. If you love the Chicago Bulls, if you love basketball, NBA content in general, it means a lot. Like I said at the jump, I just got approved for monetization, which is huge for me because I would love to make this a career one day. And every like, every subscription, every comment, it helps a lot. So leave me a comment actually and let me know what you think about my list. Is there anyone you agree with, disagree with? I feel like this isn't really a hot take. These are pretty lukewarm takes. I don't have anyone, like I don't have, any crazy trade going on here. I don't have Pat leaving. I don't even have Coby leaving. So this seems pretty fair. I feel like most people would agree with what we got going on here, but let me know if you disagree, and we'll talk again very soon. Thanks, guys. Take care.